Ivanka Trump joins us, Empress of the world, daughter of Donald.
Do I smell like Ivanka?
It smells nice. Ivanka is now conquering the world of fragrance. How you doing?
I'm doing really well. I always love joining you guys, so I have so much fun. We actually saw each other last week at your restaurant. So
thank you so much for being there. Thank you. Well, Greg, I was telling Greg, because he thought your baby was like basically newborn. I'm like, the baby has teeth, and she's running all around.
The baby, as evidenced by the 2-year-old temper tantrum I experienced prematurely this morning, is growing up. So
she's so sweet.
It is wild. People tell you all the time about how quickly it goes, and certainly I'm experiencing that. So,
Ivanka, we've got a lot to talk to you about. I want to address the perfume issue and then move on to all sorts of stuff. Tell us about the perfume.
Well, I'm very excited. This is my first fragrance, and I waited for a long time to launch this category. I already have a line of shoes, jewelry, clothing. It's been wonderful as I've built my own brand, but I feel like the fragrance space was very crowded, and there was a lot of the same. You know, a lot of money was spent on packaging, not a lot spent on the actual product. So I really wanted to be disciplined and wait until I found something very special. And this has been the evolution of years of discovering what sense I was really gravitating towards, and then trying to capture something that was transitional.
It's very pretty. It's you could smell the floral in it, but I smell something sweet.
So there's the classic feminine elements of rose, and we use Bulgarian rose, which is the most expensive product, and really just has incredible staying power. And then we mix that with a little bit of apple sparkle and with amber to give it a nice base note.
Wow, so you were like really in the lab with the chemists figuring this stuff out?
You know, it's fascinating, and you really only have the ability to smell 4 fragrances at a time before your sense of smell becomes rather garbled and confused. So you really do have to do it over a period of time, because you just can't distinguish the subtleties.
How much? How much for this stuff?
So it ranges depending on the size of the bottle, but between 68 and 75.
And today, I think people can see you at Macy's?
I will be at Macy's this evening, so I will be there from 6 to 8 p.m., and I'll be meeting with those that come and signing autographs, and I'm very excited. So that will be my first test, because this is the official launch of really how the fragrance resonates with people. So I'm very excited.
Good luck, Ivanka, with this. You obviously have a lot in common with your dad, and we really like your father.
The greatest.
Of course,
I'm biased, but
yeah, no, we understand. He has dabbled in politics. I wonder when you will pursue politics. I just see, I see you entering that sphere. Have you ever thought of it? Would you ever do it?
You know, I've been asked that question a few times, and truthfully, what is exciting to me right now is growing my own brand.
Oh, she is so running.
She's not running. She's not ready
Someday,
to do it.
that's just like a
really my core passion, though, is real estate. So we're working on so many exciting projects at the Trump Organization. I just couldn't imagine foregoing that. So we're redeveloping Doral in Miami, the iconic property. Yes, so we purchased it this past June. We're about to embark on a $200 million massive renovation, so that is incredibly exciting. We have a great asset down in D.C., the historic old post office building that we're repurposing into a luxury hotel. So we have so many exciting projects that right now, truthfully, politics would be a distraction from what I love doing.
Are you still focusing on the Soho downtown, the Trump Soho downtown?
Well, Soho's a great hotel. We're the operator of the hotel, and it's really positioned itself exactly where we wanted it, which is, you know, a super luxury downtown hotel that is still hip and contextual. So it has a very Soho type of vibe to it, but it brings downtown for the first time amenities that really weren't in the market. So all the great hotels were uptown, and then all the more boutique-y, quote-unquote, small rooms and no amenities were downtown. So we've really bridged that gap.
Was it tough for you and your family when your father was running for president?
You know, it is a challenge. It's so invasive, the public eye, which certainly we've grown up around and understood, but it really is a different level when you're running for office. And I think that's really unfortunate, because I think that creates a barrier to entry for many qualified people who don't want to be under that form of microscope. So, you know, truthfully, I wish there was a little less focus on the personal and the critical. And I think that would bring out a lot more qualified candidates.
Did you say to your father, "You're fired, we don't want you to run for this job at all"?
Honestly, I did want him to run, and I think that was a very selfless thing because it is challenging to what you mentioned for family and certainly for the individual. But I think he would have been phenomenal, and I think that our country really needs strong leadership, and working with him every day, being in the office with him, he's nothing if not
Can I ask you,
a strong leader.
I dabble in my family's restaurant business, and I love them, but sometimes I'm so happy that I have to work with Greg every day, because you need the
Otherwise,
distraction.
Greg.
What are you getting at?
I'm just saying that it's tough working in a family business.
It is tough, and it's also, I find, a very binary outcome. I've seldom met people who said, it's fine working with the family. It's either incredibly wonderful or it's a total train wreck. So you just always have to recognize that, and it's tempting not to treat your brothers with the respect you treat a colleague. So just remembering to talk to each other in a professional way, to be respectful of each other's opinions, while at the same time being family, we push each other harder, and we're all striving towards the same goal. So it's, for us, it's been great, but it's something you can't take for granted, and you always have to work on.
Wow.
You know how many times I've said to Anthony, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
No respect.
So don't say
No
that,
respect.
right? You never say that to Danny and Eric.
I do, but but then I often later sheepishly say that I was rude, or we interrupt each other like crazy, and sometimes it's about removing yourself from the pattern of sibling behavior and being more respectful in an office environment. So.
Well, give our best to the crew: Donald, Eric, the Donald, and Mrs. Trump.
Yes, Ivana. Mama.
She is the greatest.
Okay.
So I was actually with her at your restaurant. So we had a great time.
All the Trumps were there, except the Donalds.
Except the Donalds.
Right.
But he's there enough.
He is. Listen, great to see you tonight, everybody. You can go see Ivanka at Macy's.
Please do.
Herald Square from 6 to 8 o'clock. We'll put the information on our website, myfoxny.com.
Awesome.
Always great to see you.
Always great to see you guys.
Thanks so much.
You.
Thanks so much.